Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our Reflections podcast. Just for the people who are listening to this for the first time, Reflection Podcast is a series of podcasts which we bring to all you guys every 2 weeks or so. We always believe that learning happens in many dimensions. I know that we learn from our coaches, from other athletes. At the same time, we learn a lot from our own running community. The inspiring stories which come every now and then keeps all of us very motivated and inspired, and it just pushes us to do more. So hi everybody, this is Coach Indu, and I have been in RHWB for many seasons. I've actually lost count, and I've been coaching I think for probably 8 or 9 seasons. Today it's my honor to bring to you our three special guests, and as the name suggests, breaking barriers. These inspiring guests of ours, inspiring women, have broken the glass ceiling. And in a few minutes, you all would know why I am saying that. With that, and without wasting any further time, I would like runner number one to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Priya Ravindranath. Um, I live in New York, and we're a family of runners. It's my husband and two daughters. My youngest one just started her first season this season, and my older one, I think she started about 2 years ago. She's a seventh grader, and so she kind of started off in the gentle hands of RWB, and now she's doing track and field in middle school. So I've been living in New York, like I said, I think it's been 15 years or so. But I originally from Hyderabad in India, and so I went to school in HAL Senior Secondary School. So shout out to anybody who's from HAL. So I did my schooling and college in Hyderabad, and I did my engineering in Hyderabad and moved to Kentucky for my master's program. And then I've been kind of moving around a few states until I actually settled down in New York. So right now I work at Kawasaki Rail Car. They make trains for the subway transit, New York City Transit, and they also make these passenger commuter cars for across the tri-state region. So yeah, I think I have been running for the last with RWB for the last 4 years. I did run track and field in my middle school and not necessarily high school, but I did get a few years of some running experience growing up in India. And when I started running with RWB, it just felt like falling back. It felt like home. So yeah, it's been a great journey so far.
That's good. Welcome, Priya. And it's nice to know that, as a kid, also you were involved in sports like track and field and shot put and stuff. So and like what people say, right? The muscle memory just comes back. And that's exactly what
Yeah.
I see in you. So nice to meet you here. And runner number two, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, this is Crystal. My full name is Crystal Liang. I'm actually from Nanjing, China. I have a family of three, my husband and my 11 years old son. I've always been working and living in China. As to why I'm here together with Coach Indu, I actually, like 2 years ago, I actually had a business travel from China to New Jersey, United States. That's where my company headquarters located in. So I luckily joined one of the RHWB like half marathon runs. That's where I met Coach Indu, and that's also where my running journey started. Actually, I seldom did running like previously. Or maybe less than 3 kilometers normally, maybe 1 or 2 days in a week. But since I joined the running cohort together with Hindu, that's all my like consistent runs start. So yeah, nice seeing everyone.
Were you in any kind of sports, Crystal, when you were growing up? What
No,
were you?
no,
No, no.
No, I'm more like an amateur for all kinds of sports. Even though I love outdoors, I love like sports like badminton, ping pong, like that. But I'm never like an expert or
So from three
professional or being
kilometers
trained.
to 3
Yeah.
kilometers to 21 kilometers, that's a journey, and we all can't wait to hear your story. So, welcome, Crystal, to this podcast. And actually, thanks for waking up early in the morning. I know it's barely 6 a.m. there. So, thank you so much for making time for us and our runners listening to this podcast. Runner number three, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Adersha, but everyone calls me Adhi. I grew up in Westford, Mass, and now I'm a student, a college student at Wellesley College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. So pretty close to home. I'm a senior, so I'm about to graduate in a couple months, which is exciting. And I have been involved in RHWB for about, I think, 3.5 years. This season, I joined this season just without a coach for the half marathon cohort, just running in consistently here and there as I focus on finishing my thesis research. But yeah, it's been a very exciting journey. My family, my mom and my brother were in RHWB before me, and they started running. And before that, I really despised running. I didn't think I could ever be good at it. I thought it was very hard and very difficult. But watching them kind of put in that effort and get really far in their journey inspired me to join RHWB, and it has been very rewarding. Before joining RHWB, I had been involved in Bharatanatyam and a couple years of basketball, but otherwise wasn't really much of an athlete. So it has been a very rewarding experience, and I'm very grateful to the RHWB community.
Cool. Welcome, Adi, and congratulations that you're going to be graduating in 2 months. That must be really an exciting feeling, right?
Thank you. Yeah. Also scary, but yeah.
Scary, yeah. But yeah, I know that's the next phase of life, and I'm sure you're looking forward to it. And I know it was nice to see you, I think, couple of few years ago at RSWB Race Day. So that was really nice. And I know you're in Westford, Mass. That is our hub. I know a lot of coaches, Coach Watson, Coach Suja, all are, I think even Shushma and Sriram are in Westford. So it must be really nice to be in that area and constantly getting inspired by them. So that's awesome. And just a question, I know you are in Wesley College. Have you ever witnessed the Boston Marathon? Because I know Wesley College has a big presence at mile 13, I think, or 11 or something like that, right?
Yes, every year on we call it Marmon, so Marathon Monday. We stand at our gate where the half point is, and we scream and hold up posters, and very very exciting. As you know, the last couple of years have been more involved in running. Obviously, it's been even more exciting to
I'm
stand there.
sure.
Amazing runners, and I've
Yeah.
seen some RHWB people out there too, so that's been cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So, guys, today's episode, it's not about speed or finish lines or paces. It's way beyond that. It's about resilience, courage, and willingness to go post our limits. So now we are going to hear from these three incredible ladies about what motivates them, what challenges they have to face during their training period, and so on and so forth. So the reason why these have invited these guests to our podcast is because they are known for breaking barriers in RHWB. Now, what does that mean, right? So, just to give you some context, so when I ran my first half marathon, I finished it in, I think, close to 3 hours, which is like a pace of 13 something, probably. The average time for a female half marathoner in US is 2 hour 15 minutes, which is a pace of 10:30. Again, the reason why I'm bringing these paces into our conversation is to give you all some context. Now, these three females, Adi, Priya, and Crystal, have done something really crazy, which, and I think in our RHWB history, they are the only three females who've broken the barrier to 2 hour half marathon time. And that's just spectacular. Now, 2 hour half marathon equates to a pace of 8:47 per mile. 8:47 per mile. That means they held that pace for 13.11 mile. In a lot of cases, it's probably 13.2 or 0.3 because our courses are way beyond the 13.1. And that is just spectacular. So they are way above the average, national average. So now we are going to hear from, I will just call Crystal first to just share her journey. I know she mentioned that she went from 3 kilometers. Directly, she went to 21 kilometers. And mind you, all, she doesn't have any background, athletic background. She was not involved in any sports when she was growing up. So, Crystal, tell me one thing. How I know when you joined RHWB, I remember the race day where you ran half with us. Maybe you did it in 2 hours, 10 minutes or so. After that, the first season itself, you had broken two, I believe. You were around that, or the second season. So, what I want to ask you is, how was your training and what were you focused on? Did you think that you're going to break the 2 hour barrier, or exactly how did your training help you to achieve this goal?
Um, as long as my training, actually, I didn't think about, the speeds or everything about speed. I just stick to, the running schedule or the running program, whatever assigned to me. I was just strictly following that. I think that's basically the trick. I don't need to think about, everything, and I just follow whatever coach into assigned to me, and then stick to the feedback coach gave me, and then just run. Actually, at that stage, I know really little about running. So as I said, I'm an amateur. I'm not a professional in running. I don't have like any background or professional knowledge about like running, exercising. So yeah, I just run. That's the trick.
Amazing. Amazing. So, a lot of people think that they need to have this goal in mind, breaking whatever four in a marathon or whatever the case may be. And then I know we all work towards it, but what you told Crystal is a golden nugget. Crystal, you blindly followed the training, you followed whatever the coach said, and just did it 100%. And I can vouch for that. You've not missed any workouts, any day. And even if you did, you had a valid reason. Maybe you're really sick or something like that. And that actually helped you achieve this breaking two or sub 2 half marathon. Amazing. Adi, you want to go next?
Yeah, could we pause the recording? I just need to get my charger. I'm so sorry.
Get a charger. I'll go to Priya.
Okay.
Priya, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Specific to my sub 2 PR, I think that training season, I think similar to Crystal, was basically just, following the drill. And definitely on a race day, I was going for, half marathon pace. Kind of had that steady state uh, pace in mind, but I think once I start actually going into race day, I was pretty fatigued, so I kind of didn't know what to expect. And I think everything was, on race day, everything was co-op. I felt like everything was, clicking right in place, and I just went for it. It was a very great ambience, and I kind of remember, chatting with another runner, who I was actually going toe to toe at 8:45, in the first, second or third mile. And he goes, are you doing half or full? And I said, I'm doing half. And yeah, I think that's just, very, half crazy, right? And I said, yeah. And and then I could just hold his pace for maybe another 2 minutes, and then he was gone. Okay. He had something else to do, right? So, but I think these kind of interactions help us in the moment in the race to kind of recalibrate and just see how our legs feel and how we're doing. But yeah, I think it just was a great day to race. And once I kind of did the half point turnaround, I was feeling really in gear. And I think just when I finished the race, it just felt really surreal. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was just I couldn't believe it. So yeah. That was my experience.
And did you, before going into the race, did you think that you're going to break the 2 hour mark?
No,
So what
no.
is the thing that helped you achieve or break two?
I think the legs did all the training. I think that's how I think you kind of just do some kind of there's that leapfrogging goes on. I think the legs had trained, and I think you rested, and you just, I think I had just I think the rightly distanced race day after completing my training. And I think those three factors maybe was the key. I think, yeah, it was all what happened with my legs in training
Correct.
that helped
And
execute
Priya
it. Yeah.
is another example, and I've heard about you from your coach, who always, again, like Crystal, doesn't miss anything, goes all the way, and and that's what it is. Training is what pays off. Bottom line. Adi, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I kind of had like this idea of, oh, that would be amazing to break two, but kind of like pre on race day and like the few days before, I had been like really busy with college, and so I was feeling a little tired and really like I just want to finish the race. Kind of like I wasn't even sure if I would finish the race. I think I had been experiencing calf pain at that time as well, and so I was like really resting. I had Coach Sriram, and he was like, just rest and do your best on race day. And so I ran the Brooklyn half marathon, and it was just truly spectacular, the views. And I think that's what really pushed me. I think also the amazing runners around me. And so I wasn't really thinking about my pace as I ran. I was just like looking at the beautiful bridges and the water. And I was like, oh my God, listening to my music. And there were difficult moments in the race. There were a lot of hills, but I told myself to just push through. And then when I made it, I was like, oh, I broke too.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, kind of like what Priya said.
That's awesome. And I think you moved on to a full marathon too. And I think you hold the fastest female full marathoner in RSWB till now, if I'm correct. What was your full marathon timing?
I think it was 4:30 around. I don't know exactly.
Again, to give a context, right? I know that to break a 2.5 marathon is of course difficult training. It's a rigorous training, but to come close to 4:30, and that to a first time full marathoner, I mean, those to you are Adi, with school and stuff like that, just making sure you finish your training and going in for the race. I mean, it's just amazing. Kudos to you. So now the next question I have for all three of you is, I know like Adi is a student, Crystal and Priya are working moms with kids and family and stuff like that. And I know how it is. We have so many commitments. So the question which I want to ask you is, how do you overcome obstacles? Obstacles meaning it could be something which the family demands and you have a long run maybe next day, or it could be something like, work deadlines or Adi, for you, I am sure it's like hundreds of deadlines every week because you're a student. So I want to hear from you guys. What motivates you? What pushes you to get that training done, to get that run in or the strength workout in? And Adi, I want to start with you.
Sure. Yeah. So I think running has always been kind of like a release for me, emotional release. And so whatever stress I have in school and from my homework, my research, whatever it is, I'm just able to kind of come out of it when I run. I'm just listening to my music, just enjoying being outside. So when I started running, it was really just a release for me, and I really enjoyed it. And as I got more and more work in college, I was more motivated to just get out there when I could. I was like, oh, I haven't gotten in a run today. That's why I feel so, so dead. And when I run and come back, I feel much more refreshed. And so I think that's what, and also just, being surrounded by all these runners who are working and have all these other extra commitments has inspired me that, okay, I'm a student. Like I can do this as well. So I think being in this community as well really inspired me to just keep pushing.
Actually, I know a lot of students. And I know that you probably have a book of excuses which you can give to your coach why you cannot run. But you know what? Keeping it all aside and just focusing on your goals and what you told, that it's actually a stress reliever for you, running is. And that's just a powerful statement. And, and I'm sure it's all for all of us here, including me. So that's awesome. Crystal, do you want to go next? How do you balance things and, how do you overcome obstacles? Because I know that you're a very busy professional.
Oh, yeah. I've been like very busy with my work and also with my family with a 11 years old kids in primary school in China. I have to spend a lot of time coaching. I mean, how to say, paying attention to his homework like on a daily basis. So being really busy. So I've been actually trying to finish my runs during the morning hours. So normally, if I can get up early, I will just finish the run like in the day. Then the rest of the day, I can do whatever, whatever I do with my work, with my kids, everything. So basically, I will try to get up early by, sticking strictly with the schedule. I don't need to think about that. And then running is part of the, where the day starts. So that's how I get my running. I trying to finish my runs there. And on the other side, running is really like Harso said, that it's really a reliever. And for me, it's a me time also. I really enjoy like running outside, enjoy the fresh air like during the morning or even at the night. Also being alone, you're running away from all those pressures, you're getting relieved after the run, you feel so good about yourself after the run. So that's basically what motivates me for, the running journey to push me through when I'm so tired, when I'm so busy or get stuck in everything else. And also, I think I've learned a lot from Coach Indu. Whenever I cannot find a good time for a long run, I can always split the runs into short runs or at least do some like strength training or little exercise to keep me active. So to avoid that, I'm kind of being lazy and then, just didn't do anything. Yeah, basically me time and also trying to, get the work done. Those two points that motivates me.
Another golden nugget, right? Running is me time, and we all need that me time. And connecting with nature, just going out when it's quiet, it's just morning, you see the birds, it's beautiful green. Of course, we are getting to greenery now in New Jersey, but I mean in the East Coast, but amazing, Crystal. Thank you. Priya, how about you? I know you probably have another, you probably are very busy with two kids, school going kids and a full-time job. So how do you manage your time and overcome obstacles?
Well, yeah, it's definitely hard, but I think as soon as I schedule something into the calendar, I think that's how we make everything work these days. I usually squeeze in my runs during the lunch time, and I get back to work and just I'm eating and working through meetings. So yeah, it's weekdays are hard, but so the only time I can squeeze it in is when I'm away from the kids, away from everybody, and get it done during lunch. And yeah, and weekends are again it's a lot more flexibility, and as we've been seeing this year in the East Coast, it's been a weather handicap for most runners, but yeah, now I have a treadmill, so being able to kind of have that option to run indoors, that's a huge help. Sometimes it's kind of spoiling, I feel like, because I, for the longest time, I didn't want a treadmill, and finally did get it. So that can kind of just, get you to, yeah, I'll get it done, so that's that kind of mentality setting, and I'm trying to fight that and kind of be a little more disciplined if I do have to do a treadmill run. But yeah, it's running is definitely is if you don't everybody talks about, just on a lighter note, everybody talks about how we're experiencing pains right after a workout. We just something is hurting, something, we have all the kinds of niggles, but nobody talks about when we don't run for a few days, the fatigue, and just from that regular stress of the day is how that builds up, and and just after like 3 or 4 days of last week was such a week where I had a lot going on and I just couldn't and of course it's a break week and I still wanted to get some CP runs in, and so my body wasn't cooperating. But I finally did feel better and get went for a run. It was just what a difference. So yeah, I think there's like now we're kind of dealing with a double whammy, right? You hurt when you run, you hurt when you don't. So
I know. Well said, actually. To your point, yes, if you stop running for a week or so for any reason, I mean, my entire body cries. It's like it just craves for that me time, actually, more than it's that me time and connecting with nature and my stress reliever, everything. So well said. And this is just to summarize all three of you. What you mentioned is that, the way what I understood from your conversation is first thing is prioritizing. It goes on your calendar, like Crystal, Priya, Adi. You just put it on your calendar and you know that that day is not going to end or not going to begin without you doing your workout. And Crystal's point, where she said that sometimes if she's very busy, she splits it into whatever. And the key point here, which I want to bring to you all, is she said she talks to her coach. Of course, that's me. But my point is, guys, when the going gets hard, you're very busy, you have deadlines, you have a research, you have an exam, or whatever the case may be, just talk to your coach. Close communication with your coach, and your coach will actually help you tweak the program a little bit. The easiest thing, for example, Adi, I'm just picking on you because I know how busy you are, would be like, hey, coach, I have my exam on this, whatever, on Monday. I will not be able to do my long run on Saturday and Sunday. And the coach comes and says, hey, Adi, you have a 10 miler. Let's do this. Let's, instead of you 2 hours, spending 2 hours on that run, let's split it into like 1 hour each. Maybe 1 hour on Saturday, 1 hour on Sunday, and there you go. So close communication with the coach is the key, guys. So awesome. That was really, really good to hear from all three of you. And all three of you actually are in the same page. So the other thing what I want to ask you, and I'm really curious about it. Now, when you're doing this, first let's talk about numbers. Let's dive into some numbers. So Crystal had the fastest half marathon, I think, for 1 or 2 seasons. She was at that 153 mark or something like that. And suddenly Priya comes and she breaks that record. So what is your PR, Priya, for a half
150.
marathon? 150. And then Adi comes after that. If I'm right, if I sequence, I don't remember because Adi, I know yours was Brooklyn, so that was May. So after our season, technically. So what was your PR?
I think mine was 154.
For here, it was like for us, it was like we are watching the Olympic dashboard where these women are just breaking this glass ceiling. It's like it was just amazing. And I know you guys continue to maintain that, and that's really, really awesome. Now, the question I have for you is breaking through, going at that 8:47 pace is not easy. We all know that. My question to you is towards the end, when you're in that 10th mile and when the going gets tough, maybe there are hills on your course, or maybe it's, after 2 hours or close to after 90 minutes or so, you start feeling it. So, what is that one thing which pushes you for that last 1 or 2 miles? Priya, you want to go first?
It's adrenaline. It's like the finish line. When can you get to the finish line? It's just the rush. When I ran my second half marathon, first marathon was like, drinking from a fire hose, okay? It was just a wash. Don't ask me what I did. I did all the wrong things, okay? So second season, I was kind of coming around and I think I was listening to a few more episodes on RWB and kind of just learning, a little bit, in a more structured way. And I heard right ahead of the race day, in one of the slides, the coaches said, get into the beast mode. And I was like, okay, let's get into the beast mode. It's time to do something here, whatever that beast is. like go, 11, 12, and one more mile into a beast. And I was like, this was the second seat. I'm like, I can't do this beast thing anymore. And then I just, like held on to another runner, a male runner. And I think I felt like, I kind of made some eye contact. I'm like, okay, good. There was some eye contact. I think I have to stay with this person. Whatever this person is doing, I'm just gonna drag myself, to stay as close to him as possible. So yeah, the last, I think the mind gets crazy. I think of course your body has to feel capable to push, and you gotta know that. But yeah, I think that I just remember that line from RSWB folks, that beast mode. So that's my
Awesome. Beast mode. I'm going to remember that for my next race. Adi, you want to go next?
Yeah, I think there was one hill I remember in the Brooklyn that was like near the end, and it just kept going up. It would not stop. I like kept telling myself, okay, that we're almost downhill, and then it would just keep going. And it was really like sunny. It got really sunny that day, but I was listening to my music, and I was like, just keep those legs in the. I did not want to stop after getting that far. And so I think and like even the marathon, there were many points that were extreme. Like that was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life. I was just thinking about the end goal of being able to say that I did something like this, and also just my own personal kind of achievement of doing that, and telling myself that I can achieve something like this. So that kind of that goal in mind, just yeah.
Amazing. And Adi, which full marathon, which one did you do?
I did the Bay State.
Okay. And
Yeah.
amazing. At the age, probably you were maybe just 20, something like
Yeah,
that.
20. Yeah.
20. Amazing to have that kind of focus, commitment, and dedication. Kudos to you.
Thanks.
It's not easy, and we all know that. I know Crystal is all ready very soon. She's going to do her first full marathon. And Priya, you too, right? Have you done any full before?
no.
Yeah,
No.
so we are waiting for Priya and Crystal to come on the leaderboard for full marathon. So Adi, watch out, okay? You have some competition here.
Oh no.
Crystal, jokes apart, okay? Crystal, do you want to go next? The last 2 miles of your race. How does it feel? Golden nugget. One step at a time. Don't think about 2 miles or 3 miles or in a marathon, 6 miles. Just focus on the next step and keep going. And the other thing what I got is beast mode. So beast mode, keep going, push your limits and one step at a time. Amazing. So now we are going to have some fun. We're going to have some rapid fire questions. So I'll just ask you a few questions and just you guys can just answer like a word or two for those questions. Okay. So morning run or evening run, Adi?
Morning.
Priya?
Morning.
Crystal? So we have all morning runners here. Favorite running snack? Priya?
Goji berries.
Adi?
Almonds.
Crystal? Banana? Okay. Good one. Trail or road? Crystal? Do you like trail or road? Trail. Adi?
Yeah, trail, definitely.
Trail.
Priya? Trail. Awesome. All you girls are think alike. I see that. Now I know what's the secret for breaking through. What's your favorite race distance? Priya?
Oh, race distance. Any distance. I like 5K, I like 10K. I like them all. I mean,
Yeah, probably maybe half.
Crystal, 10K. Yeah. What's your dream running destination? Crystal? Nice. Priya?
fire, so I'm gonna, rapidly pick it. I think Hawaii, somewhere in Hawaii. I don't know. I don't know if they have any races there.
Well, they do. Hawaii Marathon happens in December, I believe. Yeah. So
Okay.
you should.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Okay.
So,
There's a Disney World half marathon, I think. I want to
yeah.
do.
So Disney actually January, I think they have that it's called something where some challenge it's called. So one day there is 5K, next day there is a 10K, and then there is a half and there's a full. So it's like a continuous thing. It's called some challenge. I don't remember the name, but that will be special. And the
Yeah.
parks are closed for the runs, by the way. So it happens in the morning and the park opens late. So imagine you have the whole park to yourself. So that's on my bucket list too.
Nice.
Cool. So it was really nice actually chatting with you ladies. Basically, what I learned today is that running, I know, is of course physical endurance, but more so, it's about mental endurance. And that's what all three of you spoke about. And I want to let people know that it's not about breaking two. Whatever your goal is, it doesn't matter. It's just about the next step, step by step, and also to how you navigate your life through these obstacles or challenges which life throws at you, and keep focus on your running journey, like what all of you said, right? Training goes on your calendar, so it takes priority. And also in this process, I'm sure all three of you have discovered your strength, courage, and you've discovered yourself, which is actually way beyond that breaking 2 or breaking 430 or whatever that may be. So incredibly proud of all three of you. Now a race day is coming up on April 18th. So what is the message you want to give to these new runners who are actually probably, and return runners too, who are going to race on our race day? So Adi, you want to go first? What message would you like to give to our folks?
Yeah, I would say just and really enjoy the moment. Don't get caught up in what your pace is or how fatigued you feel or how difficult it is. Just enjoy being, and the trail is really beautiful. I know if it's the same trail as they usually do, being around nature and around these amazing people and just being able to say that you are among the very few percentage of the people in the world that are running any
Exactly.
distance, whatever distance it is. That is an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you. Priya, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, for race day, the RWB race day, I've been at a few of those, and such a relaxed environment and a fully supportive environment. Definitely rely on your training. Your training is going to come through that day. So I think whatever nerves that you may have, I think, you will overcome those. I think as soon as you just cross that first mile. So I would say just enjoy yourself. I think that, as you progress in the race, you'll see how that training comes together, especially for new runners, because sometimes you don't know where this is going. You just have to trust that all the different training methodologies will kind of fall in place on race day. You just have to hang in there, dial in, and just have fun.
Crystal? Awesome. So the key here is don't focus on the pace, enjoy the moment, take pictures, talk to your fellow runners, and trust the process, which is very important. You've done training for 16 weeks and now it is showtime. So, good luck, all runners. And I'm sure the nuggets from these three incredible women are going to help you on your race day. And one thing remember, last couple of miles, when the going gets tough, one step at a time, and the last 200 meters or 400 meters is going to be beast mode. So it was really nice chatting with you three. Just keep running, keep believing in yourselves, and keep breaking those barriers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, coach.